So hopefully that's been good, and let's move on to the Women of Innovation. I want to introduce two of our Women of Innovation finalists today. Women of Innovation in its 16th year, a partnership between CCAT and the Connecticut Technology Council, of which I'm a proud board member. We've been celebrating the contributions of women to innovation for 16 years, and I'm excited to introduce two of our finalists this year. So if we go to the next slide, I think we'll see an introduction to Carrie McCusker. Yeah, so Carrie's a technical lead at Finalists, and she's been doing some really creative stuff with software development. It's listed right on there: anti-submarine warfare, weather analysis, satellite training for the Air Force. I mean, just some really, really cool stuff. And Carrie's passionate about creating superior software and integrating that software in the engineering environment, which I think is really interesting to a manufacturing audience. So Carrie, maybe you could share with us what kind of feeds your passion for that software and getting into that engineering environment. Where does that passion come from, and how does it manifest itself?
I think the passion that I have for software engineering really comes from the fact that it gives me the opportunity to bring together a wide range of people with various skills and backgrounds in order to determine, to come up with an elegant solution to a problem. It's always very exciting to be able to, look at what needs to be done and create a really good, solid, usable software solution for a customer. Being at Finalists for over 25 years, I've seen, a wide range of domains, from weather analysis and flight following to my current job, which is to develop a trainer for U.S. Space Force operators to learn how to command and control GPS satellites on the next generation ground system. When I was in college, I would never have dreamed that I would be involved in those kind of things, and it's always really exciting. I've also spearheaded the creation of a Finalists Innovation Group, whose mission it is to recognize and promote innovation and entrepreneurship. And one of the programs that I'm the most proud about is that we created a micro grant program for partners at Finalists, no matter what their experience. If they have a great idea or a prototype or a new technology that they want to explore, they can apply for a micro grant that gives them the money to be able to do some of that, and then to share that work with other partners. And we've even had some great results in bringing in new business as a result of some of those grants. So I've been very proud of that effort.
Do you find that the work that you do related to sort of space and where you have such competing priorities, right? Whenever you're doing sort of submarine or defense work, also with space work, you need to have speed, performance, quality, and technical capabilities. Does that pose a unique challenge that helps to drive more innovation, do you think?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because you need to, stay on time and get as much of that capability in front of the users as possible. We are always tapping into new technologies and really trying to brainstorm ways to interact with our users and understand their needs. So yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Carrie, congratulations on being a finalist for Women of Innovation, and I look forward to seeing how that all plays out. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and nice to meet you. Thank you very much. All right, and our other finalist is Naija Williams. Naija's a finalist for the STEM Equitability Award. And you can see she's highly educated and very accomplished. And Naija's got a passion for helping others. And she's really founder of and a huge driver of the Legacy Development Services. And I think it'd be awesome if you could share with us, Naija, what that's all about and why you're so passionate about it.
Absolutely. And I think where this comes from is really rooted in my own background. So as a young woman of color who was interested in STEM, it was really difficult to find mentors, to find examples, and even to find others in the education system who could really guide me as to what schools to go to, what companies are out there, and what opportunities I had based on my interests. And so through that and working through some of those challenges, I kind of found my passion in this kind of cross space between engineering and education. And so that's where Legacy Development Services comes from. It's really about making sure that others in minority communities have STEM exposure. They're increasing their STEM literacy, but also even more so, they're getting the guidance to connect their passions to profitable careers so they can raise their quality of life.
It's really, that's awesome. And I know we don't have a ton of time, but, you know, obviously this STEM careers had a big impact on your life. And maybe you could just share one story of somebody's life that you've touched with Legacy Development Services. I'm sure there's a myriad of them, but maybe there's one you just want to share about the impact it's been able to have on a particular person or their life.
I could share a couple, but I think I'll start with this story. Last year, I had a young high school student reach out to me. She was going into her senior year of high school and was about to start applying for colleges. Really wanted to get into aerospace, really was interested in engineering, but again, couldn't find the examples. And so I actually had a coworker reach out to me and ask me if I could mentor this young lady. And so some of the things I did was walk through some of her interests, some of the things that she was getting into extracurricularly. I took her on, brought her onto my job campus and connected her with other organizations. So I actually walked her through what it was like to be an aerospace engineer, introduced her to other women of various backgrounds who was also in aerospace engineering. And since after going through the experience, I asked her, hey, was this helpful to you? And she said, I think for me, it was really about confidence and self-efficacy. And I just wasn't confident because I hadn't seen it. And this really makes me more comfortable and more excited to just jump in and start my college career and get straight into the business. And so I think that was one of the more recent wins for me.
That's really fantastic, Niasia. Big supporter of it. I love what you're doing. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story with the audience. Congratulations on being a finalist. Look forward to hearing more about that. And Ron, I will turn it back to you, my man.
Ari, as always, thank you. Great insight. And Carrie and Niasia, thank you so much for taking the time. For all of you on the webinar, this just gives you a little insight of what's to come. Next week, we're going to be featuring more of the finalists. These women are so amazingly accomplished in the technology space, and it's really important that we recognize that.